Welcome to the shit show.
It is the All Elite Wrap-Up for December 19th, 2024. Hope you got all your Christmas shopping done. Tom, I wear a large. You didn't ask, but that's fine. Not bitter about it. Tom, we're here. I'm excited. You're an elf. I'm one of the youngest men alive.
Yeah.
We're having a great time.
Look, we've been doing this for what, 10 years now, 12 years. And I've had this now for about, what, six years? So, you know, got to keep the tradition alive. Here's the fun thing. I was dressing up like this before we had video. So tells you how festive I was feeling.
We may have video where Tom is dressed like Pitbull. And now you didn't hear me if you heard me say Tom was dressed like a Pitbull. Tom was dressed like Pitbull Fireball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, what do you think Pitbull smells like?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Fireball.
Yeah. I always liked to pretend whenever I heard Pitbull on a song that he wasn't asked to be on the song, that he just showed up and was like, yo.
Hey, here's a mic.
I was like, all right, go ahead, Pitbull. Here we go. So, hey, I'm excited. We're going to talk AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash. We are also not Mr. Worldwide. This is Fuck Your Mama 2 times in the chat, which brings me to the chat. If you're watching us live, join in on the chat right here on the YouTube, which we do every week, Thursday nights. And we intend to do this next week and the next week, because Thursday nights will be the days after the holidays. So you guys ignore your families. Come hang out with us when we do this show as normal, right? Providing normalcy. That's what we do here.
That is what we do. Yeah, and you're going to need that moving forward. But yeah, we got Dear Santa, which is going to be fun because now we've got outside wishes, not just from Tim and I. So we'll go through and read some of those.
You know what I know about Santa?
He's fat.
He is fat. Tim, I do want to share with you, though, before we get started, because we are going to start off with our Dear Santas. Then we're going to talk some AEW Dynamite. Obviously, we want to hear from you first. So we're going to start with your wishes first, then get to ours. But I got sad news. Well, hold on. I've got a little bit of a bait and switch. I'm going to show you something great, but then in turn, it's going to be sad. So as you all know, I collect many of action figures, right? Can't see it, I don't think, but like, here's a Tony Storm, right? The best, right? Awesome.
Timeless Tony Storm.
Timeless
young
Tony
upstart.
Storm. No, she's retired.
Not
yeah,
Tony.
Yeah, she's retired. Right. Timeless Tony Storm. So I collect action figures, right? So got this one. There was only 5 left. Got it in the mail. And what the fuck am I talking about? The Beast Mortis. Roar. Right? So here it is. Pretty cool, right? So I open up this motherfucker and I'm like, hell yeah, let's pose this motherfucker for some photos. Here you go. I'm going to take it. Hey, let me see if all the articulation works. Broke the arm.
No. Damaged
Broke
beast.
the arm. I've never done that before either. This is the first time I've done it, and there's 5 left.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, it was so sad.
Poor beast.
I almost cried because 1, I'd never done it before. 2, it was a rarity action figure, so it wasn't like, oh, I'll just go to Walmart and get another Cody Rhodes or whatever the fuck, you know. So I'm very, very sad. So hopefully this will help me out.
That is sad. I'm very depressed, and we can be here for you, Tom. So if you need to vent, you know, everybody in the chat can be here for you. And if you've lost loved action figures in your life, please fill us in with the stories, and we can be here for you too. The Beast Mortos, that should come with like an optional ability to like switch his shirt and be Frank Mortos, attorney at
Well, because here's actually a fun thing. This is actually not technically the Beast Mortis, it's the Black Taurus. His AAA Lucha Libre gimmick. He has now since changed his name when arriving to AEW, but it's still the same guy. Look at that. Look at the horns, like all that. But here's another thing that I'll tell you. I'm a fucking baller. I got another one. It's on the way tomorrow. You know, but it's still
2 of them. Send me 2 of them this time. I'm gonna break another one just because Just
it happened instantly too. Because when I went back there were 3 left, and then last time I checked, it said 1. So I got lucky. But yeah, so I'm a little sad, but we're gonna make it through it. And like I said, I like to hear from you all. That makes me happy. And so, Tim, why don't we do some Dear Santas?
Yeah. I was talking to Santa earlier, and
This fat son of a...
he said he needs to know what we want for Wrestling Christmas, right? And I said, there's a lot of us now. You know, we have friends now, Tom. By my count, I think we got at least 8 friends here. And so we're used to giving us, or, you know, our wish list, right? And sometimes Santa provides, and sometimes we've apparently been naughty and we don't get our wish list. So, well, you know, what we haven't done very well is like going back and seeing, you know what I mean? For sure, like what, you know, if Santa gave us or not. We should do that next year around. It's the All Elite Wrap-Up. This is our first time doing this as the All Elite Wrap-Up. You can go to alleatewrapup.com, check out the podcast link, dial back to the old days when this show used to be called the Spanish Announce Table, and just pick some stuff at random. You might be in for a treat. Tom, Dear Santa. So we're gonna bounce this back and forth like we always do, but this time, like you said, we have some friends now. I can't tell you exactly where all these friends are. Some, you know, these are private individuals, right? So we gathered this stuff from all the interwebs, right? And got some of our friends to give us some Dear Santas. We also got a last second one here from our friend Fuck Your Mama 2 times here in the chat.
Hell yeah.
So we'll throw that in there as well. And anybody else that comes up with a last second Dear Santa, give it to us. If you got to give it to us later on our social medias, like the Threads, the Blue Skies, all of those links are available on alleatewrapup.com, because we want to know, and Santa wants to know, what you want, right?
Yes.
Santa, again.
He's fat!
So,
indeed.
Tom, where do we start?
I got some pulled up here. And so
Okay.
how about this? We'll ping pong both of ours, but we'll also ping pong taking turns reading from our lovely friends here on the All Elite Wrap Up. So I will start off with the first one. And again, this is Dear Santa. And so I'm going to pull up the first one I see. And the first one I get that I see from our list of Dear Santas says, Dear Santa, I want Athena to come to the main roster and, quote, dominate.
Yes.
This comes to us from our friend Neon Ghost. So
Neon Ghost, which, by the way, Tom, next week, you know, we got picks. So that means you'll have to wear a Jeff Jarrett shirt. But to counteract that, I'll be wearing a Pile Drive Fascism shirt.
Hell yeah.
Cooler than you are. Courtesy of our friend Neon Ghost and some other friends that we'll talk to here later. So I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Anyway.
Athena going to the main roster and dominate. What do you think about Santa? Do you think we're going to get that wish?
I think we might. Man, I don't know. We could, right? I think if they say, they being AEW, Tony Khan, whoever is doing the creative, that we hear you, we got to beef up some women's division, let's bring over somebody that we know hits, right? As the kids say, right? They cheer for this gal, let's bring her over. Dominate, I don't know, right? If they would pull that trigger, but like I think would be credible top, you know, contender for sure. And then I could also see staying in ROH, right? Eventually, you know, is no longer the top dog, kind of a Roman Reigns thing, takes a little break and then comes back and is just, you know, doing the thing again. And is still an ROH person, right?
I will say I was not an Athena fan for the longest time. I didn't like I'm kind of a fallen angel, but I'm also a brat, but I'm also maybe from the streets. It was like too many things and none of it made sense. Now that she's doing her minions and she's got Lexi Nair and she's got a crew of them. She's taking on I'm losing her name, but she's taking on the main minion this Friday at Final Battle. I do like this current Athena, where it's like, yeah, I beat bitches up. I'm the best. Everyone around me says I'm the best, don't they? And you're like, yeah. And so it's the best. Yeah, right there. Thumbs up. I am a big fan of Athena.
Fuck Your Mama 2 times in the chat said, Dear Santa, no more last second count out jump in the ring. It takes me out of matches real quick. Is that a trope that you could do without?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's because
it never happens. You never see it be like, oh, it rarely is like, oh, we got to 10. Oops.
That's
Shout
what I
out.
mean. If you're going to do it to where it does work, then do the spot here. But every single time we know they jump right in. Yeah. So don't like that.
Referees.
Yeah. I would like it if, you know what? I would actually like that if refs, because you know how in the major sports, there's always a referee bad call. If they said like, it was 10, it'd be like, I was in. Like, hey, referee's final decision. Yeah.
So I've said why I like the Continental Classic is that, and I don't think they've done enough of these this year, draws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ross was not always wrong about his bitching, but he said, you're telling me you have this live fighting thing, you're going out, you're putting on matches that have no real time limit? Like, sure you are, right? And if fighting is you're trying to get above 500 at best record, right? In pro wrestling, right? Because you're wrestling so much, right? So you're just trying to win more than you lose, essentially. Why wouldn't we have more draws, right? Why wouldn't we make these 10-minute things and draws? And then that kind of can continue the feud is, you didn't beat me. Well, you didn't beat me. Well, let's do it again. Right.
Mm-hmm. I like it. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Do you want to read this one? Because you read from the chat. Do you want to read from this or do you want me to get it?
Whatever.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, I'll go on the next one. This one comes from our friend Lisa at the Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast. And she says, Dear Santa, I would like more than one women's match on Dynamite. And yeah, I mean, to, emphasize that one, you can't, that's all they do. It's always the 9:30 slot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 8:30 here in the one true time zone.
Yes.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I know it's going away. At least it's being reported that it's going away. But this is where Rampage would have been great. If you would have made themed episodes or just Rampage is more focused on women's division, that would help. I also do agree with Lisa here. It would be cool to see this in reverse, right? Women's match, promo segment right before the main event, men's match, main event, women's match. Like, just fuck it. Come on. You have enough talent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have enough talent to make Osprey the 8:30 match. And you have Anna Jay versus Mercedes 2 as your main event. And then you do Serena D, Britt Baker, Athena, bring her up, right? Like, you have enough talent to do a couple of those shows a year. You could even call it, dude, not to be like, ooh, so much, but again, if you want to separate yourself from pro wrestling's number one company, do things that are different. Do a women's night, right? We just did winter. What was this called? Holiday Bash, right?
Holiday Bash.
Yeah. Do a AEW Dynamite women's night. And then it's all women's matches. Just no fucking guys. You guys can talk, but no wrestling, that'd be great.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think if you were to make the themed Rampage episodes, again, film it before Dynamite so that the most people are seeing the women wrestle. You know what I mean? Anyhow,
that'd be nice.
It would. All right.
Nice. What we got next, Tom? Santa's got it doesn't got a whole lot of time. He's got to be busy time of year for Santa.
I hear you. Okay, here we go. From
this fat son.
Sorry, a little bitter.
No, it's all good. It's from FNAKC _ 42.
Yeah, is that FNAC or is that like FNAKC?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Here it is. So, Dear Santa, I know you're real. MJF is a naughty liar, which we'll get to on Santa's our Dynamite recap.
He's real, right?
I would like AEW to sign Mina Shirakawa, Erica Lee, and Bert Vixen. Complete honesty, I don't know those other two.
I don't know those two people. Yeah.
But I know Mina Shirakawa, and I love. Did you see Mina Shirakawa fucking outdance Mercedes?
Yeah.
Love that. That's
well, that's because she has more than
yeah,
one white guy move. Yeah, if we're talking about those people on the same level as Mina, then yeah, let's sign them up. Let's do some stuff. Let's do some stuff.
I like that one.
F&A.
I like it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's me up. I'm up next, right? Troubles Weekly. This is our Troubles with Weekly Wrestling podcast friend, right? Who's been on here a couple times. Says, Dear Santa, I need Jay White to be AEW World Champion by the end of 2025. And I want to clarify. I think he means AEW Men's World Champion.
Yes, AEW
I
Men's
think he does mean
World
that.
Champion.
Albeit, I mean, Jay White, you know what I mean? He's cool enough to pull it off, I think.
He could do anything he wants.
Yeah.
We could all do whatever we want. You know what I mean?
If he came out and was like, I'm the women's, world champion, I think everybody would be like, he's so fucking cool. He's so cool.
We
with
like
his
it.
abs.
Yeah.
Look at his abs. Of course he's.
How do you feel about that? You like Jay White as an AEW Men's World Champion?
I don't think I hate it. I am not as enamored as everybody else is, right? I don't hit the ceiling when Jay White comes on, but I also don't dislike the guy or I'm turned off by the thought of Jay White. So I think it would be fine. I think with the right storyline, fine. I don't think I need a lengthy run because of that, right? Because I'm not the Jay White guy. I don't need an 8-month run, but yeah, a successful defense or two would be fine.
Yeah.
Jay White.
I wouldn't hate it. All right, let's keep it going because Neon Ghost then says again, Dear Santa, please give Hangman Adam Page many more world title runs. And Tim, there's a lot of things about our podcast, but one in particular is this is a Hangman appreciation podcast. So we 1,000,000% co-sign on that Santa wish right now.
Yeah, I 100%. This is a cowboy shit podcast, and we will hear nothing else of it. And Santa, if you don't grant Neon Ghost's Christmas wish,
I will knock your dick in the dirt.
Don't want that.
Come on. Yeah.
Don't want that.
Yeah.
Don't
I
want
like
that.
both
Hangman
of those
is so
guys.
fucking cool.
Yeah, but I like both of them. Triples Weekly and Neon Ghost. Jay White, Hangman to be your champions in 2025. Wouldn't hate it. Also, as I've kind of mentioned in the past, diversity is great too. So not just white dudes, but those two white dudes in particular. Don't hate it. Like that idea.
We do have a second one again from Fuck Your Mama 2 times in the chat that says, Dear Santa, just give me Omega Okada this year at All In Texas.
Are you going? Is he going?
Yeah. Fuck Your Mama 2
Mm-hmm.
times.
Because why there?
I rewatched the Beast Mortos on Hey EW because I was telling my boss that he should catch up on Beast Mortos. And he asked him, he says, so you're half bull, half man. And he's like, how does that happen? And his response in RAR form was, ask your mother. Fucking great. Beast Mortos.
Ask your mother.
Right.
She'll tell
ask
you.
your mother how that happens. All right. Am I up or are you up? What are we doing here?
You're up.
All right. Oh, this one comes from, as cool as we love the username Fuck Your Mama 2 times. It's up there for top shelf, best username of all time. Another contender here is our friend Peg Me Bundy, right? I mean, this is a top shelf username, right? You know what I'm saying? The layers involved here is hilarious. Peg Me Bundy says, yo ho ho, fat man. First, how's the missus? Tell her I'm sorry for that rug burn. But in my defense, she plied me with cider and the secret ingredient was pure elven moonshine. Did anyone find Prancer yet? Anyway, give me Will versus Fletch at All In. Goodish girl, as always. Hugs and kisses, Brett Michelle. So, that elven moonshine will make a person do questionable things. Questionable things, right?
So I think Santa is going to grant this wish, but I don't think it's going to be All In. I think it's going to be the finals of the Continental Classic. Is that World's End? Is that when that takes place?
When that happens? How close?
I don't know.
Because that's next week is a go home show for that.
Right. So probably not then. But I know that it ends at a pay-per-view. So maybe the January pay-per-view, whatever that one is. I think that's the finals of the Continental Classic. Again, for me, it would be Brody King versus the Beast Mortos, but apparently the Beast Mortos can't win a match this year, and that's fine. Hey, look, Mark Briscoe's leading it this year. Last year he didn't win a match, so maybe he gets in there twice.
I think Mortos is being screwed. I think it's a conspiracy. Stop the steal. Tom, what's next? What do we got?
This is me. All right, so I'm gonna go with the wish from Books and Body Slams, which is just that's another great one. Yeah.
Cool friends.
Yeah. I will body slam you into the ground and then read you a nice book.
I didn't think the names could get any cooler than Tim and Tom, but then, we've got all these other cool names.
It's so crazy. All right. So
The
she
creativity
says,
of everybody. It's great.
Dear Santa, I want Kenny Omega under my tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But really, for him to stay healthy this year, I also would really like an Okada, Ospreay, Omega match this year. I'm assuming that's a triple threat.
Yeah. I would
Also continues and says, I would also like for Hangman Adam Page to get his due justice he is deserved. P.S. MJF may be my scumbag, but I know you're real.
Yeah. Santa's real.
And as an elf, I can tell you, he has told me he is real.
Confirm.
So can confirm. As you can see, I'm getting ready for work here in a little bit. What do you think about this? What do you think of an Okada, Ospreay, Omega triple threat match?
Well, wouldn't that be great? I mean, that's going to be flippy, but not too flippy, I think, right? I think that's going to be a good blend, right? I think that's going to be not too flippy to turn us off, right? Because I think Ospreay is the flippiest, right? Although Omega can do that thing, right?
But he's getting up there,
so
and
they'll get it. Yeah, but he's getting up there in age,
up.
so he does. Yeah, and now he's kind of extra bigger than he was in his younger years, right? And the top heavy, right? So he does a little less of that. So I think we get a really good blend here of three kind of unique styles that really work together well. So I think that would be really cool. I mean, again, we really care about storylines, so I'd really like to know, other than just I'm the best. I mean, you can miss me with that a little, right?
Right. Can I tell you where I'd like for that match to take place once Santa does grant this wish?
Where?
Dynamite. I don't want I can already see that this match will be an hour probably. And so I don't want this and 9 other matches. And we start the pay-per-view at 6 p.m. and end it at 2 a.m, right? So put it on the Dynamite, right? Put it to where a lot more people can see it because it's free, air quotes. I know cable costs money. And then also, we know it has to end at a certain time. So it's like we can't be here till 11:30. So yeah, I would actually like that match to happen 100%, but I would prefer it to be on Dynamite.
All right. I don't hate that idea. I think that's just fine, right? That also means I think you can come with a little less of an intense storyline, right? So if you don't have a thick storyline for this, which I think is a great way to describe a storyline, it's thick. Then yeah, let's leave it on Dynamite. Do one of the named, right? Road Rager or whatever, right? Big Dick in Dallas,
Spring
or
Break.
whatever we're calling it, right? Yeah.
Can't see cunt punt, all those. Yeah.
Right. All right. Our final friend submission here comes from iBlade Daily, who also has a great podcast of Sit Down, Shut Up, and Mark Out. You should check that out. He says, Dear Santa, I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to see Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada in a match and then in a buddy cop movie. I think it would also be neat if you gave me that Super Nintendo I asked for back in 92 that I still never got and was told it was lost in transit. Like, how fucked is your delivery system? Where's the accountability? Fuck you. Anyway, love you. Bye. iBlade Daily. You're a little testy, right? You're a little testy at the fat man.
He's fat!
God. People do not realize the testy emails we used to get and how in character you used to get on those. The best.
I thought about telling GBL that like we could revisit, but there's still got to be some parameters, right? We got there's some things we got to tone back from what that used to be. Again, if you go to alleywrapup.com and just go back to real early Spanish announce table days, check out some emails from un-PGBL.
They were hardcore, and Tim gave it all the effort. I tell you what, you want to see someone get into character. Well, you can't see it.
Acting.
Audio, but
method acting.
All
method
into.
Acting. There was a lot of meth involved. Tom.
I'm from Independence.
Allegedly, yeah. Where do I think I was getting it from? No, Tom. These are great submissions, right? And we encourage anybody else, if you're hearing this before Christmas, send them to us. We've got Santa on the line. He owes us some money, so we'll put in a favor.
I love the idea of a buddy cop movie with Takeshita and Okada. I think that'd be great.
Yes. And again, you could do that. Like, remember the Fashion Police, right? Fandango and them. Like, if you do a kind of segments like that where they're just buddy copping it doesn't even have to be buddy copping it, but just odd coupling it, right? Or something of that nature, right? It would be great.
Yep. I would love it. I would love it. All right. So, Tim, since you read that one, I will start with my first Santa wish. And I'm going to say, Dear Santa, this one's just cut and dry, right to it. You hearing me?
Yeah, except Theo in the chat says, I want an un-PGBL email read to me when I get my cancer diagnosis results.
Yeah, because he was there. He was there. He remembers those. Yeah, he was in the.
I don't know. I want to do that now. If you get some, send to. I'll personalize. Cameo this. We'll do this.
There it is. There we go. All right, so I'm going to give you my first.
Back to giving you respect on what you were going to say.
Yes, I'm going to say my first Dear Santa, cut and dry, right to the point. Brody King as a top AEW champion. So that could be TNT. That could be your men's world heavyweight championship. But I want him on his own, killing people, strangling them off the ring, dumping them into the crowd, like a more vicious, articulate Bam Bam Bigelow. Like that's the type of guy I have envisioned for the Brody King. Way more, because ECW, Bam Bam especially, he was throwing Spike Dudley into the fucking ring, throwing Taz through the ring as well, all the stuff, But I want, like, as mentioned, when Brody King was dangling Darby Allin off the apron and just drops him, that kind of stuff, that ruthless, like, I ain't fucking taking.
Let's think when Randy Orton was doing the, like, I'll take it over the line, right? Like, I'll do the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that without maybe necessarily doing that, but just like, I'm so big and strong that I will break your neck right here because, like, why not? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's more vicious Bam Bam Bigelow, but I want the character, like I said, more thoughtful.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Thanos, remember when, in one of those movies,
sociopathic.
Well, but when one of those movies, someone was like, you killed my best friend. And he's like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Like that, right. Where it's like,
it's a mission. Kill you it's calculated decisions, but they're cold. They're you know what I mean? They're dastardly and they're ill concerned with any empathy or anything.
Yeah. I want Brody King as a top champion, single star in AEW.
All right, Santa, I would like a storyline. And Tom, you used to ask for this, and I don't know if you asked Santa ever directly, but I'm going to ask him now because it's time. It's time. Because we have MJF back. I want a storyline where MJF is the head, right? He's the men's AEW world champion, and he's defending against challenger Eddie motherfucking Kingston.
No.
We get the modern day Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes showdown because I don't know that we got Eddie Kingston for much longer. So we got to get it in this year. You know what I mean? Maybe later in the year, MJF's got a couple months in. He's all, I'm the rich guy. Everybody wants to be like me. And Eddie Kingston like, I don't want to be like you, bitch. And nobody here wants to be like you. I'm going to punch you in the nuts. And then we're on.
I tell you what, and it would be perfect timing because if you do it at the time that Happy Gilmore 2 comes out, which he's in, and he goes, I'm the biggest star. No one can touch me here. And Eddie Kingston's like, who said anyone wants you here?
Yeah.
And then he's like, what? Get the fuck out. Well, no, I'm MJF. Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
like,
no, we don't like that. Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to fuck you. Okay, good. Like,
exactly. All right, good. I just drank 3 beers. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
This is great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that. Yes, that I 1,000,000% co-sign. All right. Dear Santa, I want AEW to do more specialty shows at historic arenas. For example, the Aztec Mexico, as we have coming up, the Hammerstein Ballroom. But there are so many amazing venues in this
Turner
country.
Rec Center in Kansas City, Kansas.
Well, Memorial Hall. Because you know who won their first world championship at Memorial Hall? Ric Flair over Dusty Rhodes. And if you get Ric Flair to show up and be like, this is where I won my first championship, and you do an Eddie Kingston MJF, hey, Eddie Kingston's about to win his world championship. Ric Flair's here to give him a pep talk. I mean, fuck, I just wrote that in the moment. But
Cow Palace was dope, says fuck you mama 2 times.
Exactly. Because here's the thing that works against AEW. And I thought about this as I saw some highlights on YouTube of Saturday night's main event from WWE. they have so much nostalgia, right? They can Jesse Ventura, you remember that, and all this stuff. AEW doesn't have that. But what AEW can utilize, because they say this is where the best wrestle, is go to the venue where the best were wrestling. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Ric Flair, Sting. You can get all these legends and be like, this is where I made my debut. Hey, Sir Pentaco, this is where you can get your first win, or whatever it may be.
Kemper, or whatever the hell they call it now,
Hy-Vee Arena. It's a basketball. That's where I saw LeBron James this year, by the way. Yeah, it was very fun. But yeah, I think that would be great to utilize history in your favor without selling out and being like, in 2019, it was like, yeah, no, we remember, you dumbass. We were there.
Yeah, we were there.
So, yeah.
I had tickets for that. All right.
Yeah.
Dear Santa, I want AEW to drop a men's title. We got too many titles. Now, I obviously vote for losing the Continental title because that should just be a yearly bragging point, right? And make it a yearly thing. But I get if you're going to, naming, if you're going with naming, I would keep the Continental and drop the International title, because doesn't that mean the same thing as World? Am I missing something? I'm
not smart,
what's
so
the difference?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
So,
couldn't tell you.
You know what I mean? So we got to lose one of these. It's too many.
Yeah.
I agree. Keep the TBS because it's branded, or TNT, excuse me, and you brand it, and, so okay. And then you need another one, right? Like, you don't need the two others. It's
right.
Let's get rid of one.
Yeah, I have.
Merge them.
Yes.
Unify them, whatever you got to do.
I agree. Here's the thing I would say. If you had to keep it because of whatever internal, whatever is going to happen, make it the HBO Max title. Name one of them the HBO Max title. Since you're going on that fucking streaming platform, HBO Max. Is it HBO or is it Max? Don't call it the Max.
I think it's Max.
No, HBO Max.
Max title.
No, I don't like that. I do agree though. Get rid of one of them because there's too many.
Too many.
Because why? Yeah.
Don't care.
Unless
too many of them.
Yeah, because we also got to explain why do we want it? Because obviously you want the men's world championship as a man because that says you're the best. But all these other ones, what the fuck does that mean? Does it mean more money? Does it mean anything?
I get the Continental title when, like, like the Owen Hart, they give you a little like trophy belt. So like you got your Continental title, even if you want to carry that around and use it as a prop that people steal or whatever, but like it shouldn't really be defended.
I agree.
Now, if you need to drop it, and like that's where I would then maybe merge the International into the Continental, and then it can stay defended, and then the Continental champion always defends it in the tournament and whatever, I guess. But it's just too many. I think we can drop one of these and get rid of them.
I agree. All right, for my last one, dear Santa, again, I am asking you for more AEW synergy. How on Inside the NBA we don't have Paul White sitting next to Shaq? How on the Food Network we don't have Orange Cassidy doing a segment with Bobby Flay? How on TMC or TCM we have Toni Storm hosting her own classic movie, again, timeless Toni Storm, because she is retired from professional wrestling, so she could do this. Timeless Toni Storm giving you her movie of the week. There are so many HGTV. You just have the Death Riders because they love to fuck shit up. Huh?
You have them do the demo.
The demo on all this shit.
Yeah.
Or you have Powerhouse Hobbs do it, right? Powerhouse, he takes down the house because he's a powerhouse, right? Like,
yeah, so Powerhouse goes on Homestead Rescue, right? And he's out there, lugging stuff around for him.
Just because, right now the NBA is on TNT. Eventually it's going to go away, unfortunately, going to stick to ESPN, which sucks. But anyhow, one of the things
actually made them do AEW instead of NBA now. They should have just made those same guys do the show about AEW instead.
Well, ESPN purchased them, so they
I know, but like shouldn't have. Just said, all right, well, NBA's gone. You guys will do this show about Shaq and Chuck talking about Hangman burning down a house. Wouldn't that be great?
I would love it. But here's an example: is Saturday Collision will air after the college football playoff. There isn't an AEW wrestler saying, what an amazing fourth quarter, Georgia or whoever the fuck won. And now we got a matchup with Darby Allin versus the Beast Mortis or whoever, right? Like, that's how it should be.
Look, your mama 2 times says I did see the guns on the food truck show.
Fuck it. Well, then make that shit. Then why didn't that be? Look,
Why didn't I know that?
Like WWE. Well,
Why does fuck your mama 2 times got to tell me that? And not AEW.
That's what I'm saying. For all the bullshit that WWE does, and they do a ton of it, even outside of them being a sexual predator organization, allegedly, they will pat themselves on the back and say, look at Sports Illustrated talking about us, CNN, and all this stuff. AEW, come on, a little of that. If the guns were on the Food Network, show me a clip for 5 seconds. I need that instead of Jericho.
Yeah, my boss told me that he saw Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends a couple years ago on some game show in Gimmick. And I was like, I didn't know about this.
Come on.
Chris Statlander, I think Chuck and Orange were like a trio on some game show. In Gimmick. Crazy. Full Gimmick.
Yeah, so more of that, and then also hyping it up more. So, yeah, kind of a twofold there.
All right. Dear Santa, I would like a new AEW show that has a women's wrestling focus. Tom, you kind of alluded to some of this earlier, right? And I don't think you have to have it like exclusively a women's show, right? Like men exist in this world. There's some men that are friends that are dating these women, right? They're referees, things like that. But like you said, this could feature primarily female storylines, right? The main event could almost always be the female match, right? And the men could be snuck in there somewhere before, like kind of flip the overall script, right? That balances that out overall. Right? Then you're not having to ignore, again, women on Dynamite. Still get more than one women's match on Dynamite, right? I view Dynamite as like, this is where the biggest, most intense storylines and matches should be happening, right? And then the other things kind of get dispersed on the other shows that I got to watch so I can get the full rounded picture, right? And that's where, if Dynamite is everything, right? The best of everything going on. So Collision is still a primary male focus. Then we have this other show that's maybe a primary female focus, right?
I agree. 100%. And then
Explosion or whatever the hell we call it. Right?
Yeah. And even so, like if you said you did want to do a men's match as an example, it's a lucha libre, right? It's not just, two white dudes. It's not Matt Taven versus Roderick Strong. Like it's Beast Mortis versus Hologram. You know what I mean? Like, because they do have apparently, remember when the Beast Mortos took on Hologram, it was because they were debuting in Mexico. So, make this motherfucker the face of that shit. Look at a face only a mother would love. And me. Love that.
Tom, just for anybody keeping score here, got pinged on the side here and let you know that we did get it right when we said the username is FNAKC. FNAKC.
Right. Is that his initials or is that the city? Are we talking about the city?
Yeah, you gotta give us up. Yeah, are you here? Come hang out. It's a beer.
Yeah, what's up? Come on.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to hang out with Tom in his elf costume?
Yeah, come on.
Weirdo are you?
Yeah. I'll wear this whenever you want.
Jesus, man. Yeah, I'll come over to your house right now wearing this. Hey. I know where it is. All right, Tom. So that's our Dear Santas, right? Again, if anybody else missed it, want to get them in late, send us. We'll read them next week. Next week is going to be fun. I've got a little thing cooking. Maybe we'll go over some stuff next week. It'll be good. I'm excited. You'll be wearing a Jeff Jarrett shirt, so everybody's going to have a great time laughing at you.
We will also be doing our New Year's resolutions soon. We will also be doing our best of matches and all of that kind of fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Add to that as well. If you have your favorite match or if you have a New Year's resolution, pro wrestling themed, send it our way. We would love to hear it.
So we had a Dynamite last night, and maybe we run through this a little quicker than we are used to, but like, feel free to join in the chat and stop us, right? But because we've already given you so much content here, we don't want to bore you too much here. But Dynamite Holiday Bash was great. They were not slowing down.
No, and boring.
Yeah, no, us too. Bore you, but you know what I mean. We understand you've got to spend some time with your families and stuff this holiday.
No, never. It's Wednesday night, and it was Washington D.C. in the entertainment and sports arena, the granddaddy of them all. Timeout. It's called the entertainment and sports arena.
Yep.
How generic is that?
Yeah. Come listen to my podcast. I call it Podcast.
Talking Podcast. It's the Talking Podcast.
Two Guys Talking Podcast.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we kick it off, and not too much happens here, but Renee talks to Jay White, Orange Cassidy, and then Hangman. Hangman says, tonight, Moxley's mine. And they're like, dorks. right? And then they kind of disperse. That's our opening segment.
What Jay White was weird here, right? Like he was like, oh, and then Hangman, and then Hangman busts through and he's like, ah, shit. He's just like, but then wasn't backing down from him, right? It was just kind of like one of those like, oh shit, you're here. I didn't realize.
Yeah, like damn it, I don't want to go through this.
Now I gotta dial back what I was saying. Yeah, man. I mean, fine, right? I still the caveat with Orange Cassidy at the end, right? He does everything right. But she's gotta say your thoughts, and he's gotta whatever, right? Like I gotta hear whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Why did we do this? Renee, how's your holidays? Yeah, something like that. You know, something to just throw it off. But we get into some in-ring action. We start off with a TBS championship match. Our champion, Mercedes Moné, takes on the challenger, Anna Jay. That's fun to say. And what are we doing? So Mercedes Moné wins. Anna Jay looks great. But
great.
Yeah, great. Fantastic opening contest. My concern, though, is not that Mercedes Moné looked bad. She had, again, the best thing that she does is wrestle, and this is awesome. This
could have been a main event match. Like, this was great.
Yeah. She did great. But this is now 0 for 2 with Anna Jay. So she went up against Mariah May, lost that. Then she went up against Mercedes Moné. I'm just realizing all these names rhyme. And loses that.
Ladies have to have an A sound, right?
It's got to be non-threatening.
Right, exactly. And airy and light.
Fucking white dudes. But Anna Jay, what are we doing with her? I mean, if you look at all the worst things in history,
I walk into a group of any demographic, the one I'm most stomach queasy with is white dudes. It's bad. I'm like, we're going to be here long, right?
Yeah, we crushed some sales this month.
We forgot to let the dogs out, right? Like, we got to fucking go. Really?
Who hit the hole-in-one with their 9-iron or whatever the fucking nerd shit they talk about? Golf isn't a sport.
Well, that's one subset of the white girls, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm the worst. I don't like those. Those are the worst kind.
Somebody loves the out here. The Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast in chat loves the outfit, Tom.
Thanks. Hey, hello. So Anna Jay loses. We also get Chris Statlander looking backstage at Mercedes Moné, so we might be running that one back. But I'm more specific on what do you think we're doing with Anna Jay?
Yeah, so again, if we're going to run it back, Anna Jay, and she choking people out.
Well, she tried in this one.
Yeah, but like you said, this just feels like, okay, so you're not good enough to beat Mercedes, so we stack that, which, fine, we do that in wrestling, right? But, man, I feel like Mercedes doesn't need any more to establish that, right? That she's
especially against Anna Jay. Yeah, I think what we could have done, and this is just my opinion, is have Anna Jay and Penelope Ford still keep that cooking while Mercedes Moné beats other people. And then once Anna Jay gets past Penelope Ford, let's say in February, then this match now feels like, oh shit, is this really going to happen? Because let's all be honest, I don't think anyone truly thought, if you had to bet money, that Mercedes Moné was going to lose, right? But if she gets through 3 different type of gauntlet matches or whatever it is, specialty matches with Penelope Ford that are just, banger after banger after banger, well, then maybe she does beat Mercedes Moné. But it felt too rushed in that sense. And then also, it was so recent that she lost her opportunity to Mariah May not to challenge for that. So I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah, it does feel like I have a disinterest now in the Anna Jay character because of that, right? I'm going to need her to do something now that's makes me take notice, right? Can't just be, and she wins against, C+ talent. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if she just goes out on Collision and beats Harley Cameron, okay,
Sky Blue,
but Sky Blue. It's like I don't want to see that. Yeah, not that I don't want to see it. It's like I don't really have an interest in it.
Right.
But. All right, so then we get a pre-taped interview, I guess. And this is from FTR back at their home. And they talked about how they stopped the Death Riders from poisoning Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you expect us just to have you kill someone?
Which makes sense, right? If you're saying like, look, I didn't want to fight, but like, I wasn't going to let you kill the man, right?
Mhm.
Like that's fair, right?
Yeah. Was it covered though what the Death Riders did to FTR?
Yeah, they said they drug him out, beat them, and left them there in the cold to die, essentially, right? Which explains how you weren't kidnapped, right? Because that's what we were left with the impression. But why were we left with that impression? If that's all they did, why didn't the cameras just go outside and film that? We see people getting beat up outside all the time.
Yeah, and again, I don't remember the segment that well, have loud noises while Yuta looks at the camera, because Yuta's the one that's shooting it, right? Have like banging and him like, ha, 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 this is fun, you know?
Or we could have worked up something where you escaped the kidnapping attempt, right? You were you know what I mean? They stopped to get gas and you weaseled your way out. Like, fuck it. Make it up. Right? Like, tell me what's going on, right?
Yeah, I jumped out of their truck because I knew they would be in a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always in a truck. Yeah. So we jumped out of the back.
It's always a Dodge Ram. Get yours at your local Dodge dealer now. You know, and I know that those happen to have a fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, something like that. But they say they're gonna wrestle the Death Riders on January 1. And here was the fun thing. They're not coming alone.
Well, yeah, that was a fun one. And I know who it is. Now, I get them saying, like, they're not going to clear us, right? But they're going to clear us January 1. That's usually not how that works, right? Like, but you can say we're estimate that will be available, right? So that's fine. And yeah, they're not coming alone. They will have an edge.
To them.
And to them, yeah, they will have an edge on their side, yes.
Yeah. So we got that. Then we keep it with talking, which I don't necessarily always hate. But we hear from MJF. And boy, did he just eviscerate Adam Cole. This yellow child baby.
Yeah, except he looked more orange than Adam Cole had looked almost the entire time.
Well, yeah.
Now, I will say this. I didn't notice that on everybody. I think the lighting in there or something was off, because when they were out in the ring, people looked pretty orange last night.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, that one wasn't necessarily the bad, Cheetos hands.
Yeah, I think it was something with the coloring and the camera work or whatever, the lighting. But boy, he looked as orange as the Hanukkah stars on, or the Stars of David on his on his suit. Which, man, what a heel suit, right? Not to say
I
that,
liked it.
The Stars of David are heel, but like that kind of like
it was an obnoxious,
bright. Yeah, exactly.
It was an obnoxious suit that he was wearing.
Yeah,
but he doesn't really necessarily cover anything new. I did like the little. Look, I know that we're
small
not
yellow child.
Yeah, and I know that we're not the promotion up north, as us marks like to say, but it is also fun to make fun of people in a funny way. So this didn't necessarily hurt, right? Like, it made me a little bit more interested.
We don't like to make fun of people for their appearances, but when it's a choice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you're going to make fun of someone because they're short, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But if you want to make fun of someone because they purposely get a bad tan, fucking have at it.
Or they get like a weird neck tattoo right here.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine if someone in AEW did that? I bet you we would boo the shit out of him.
What a nerd.
He's probably a cornball. I'm assuming it's a guy.
Yeah, especially. Well, no, I mean, I'm sure he's a guy who grew up in the mean streets.
Yeah. Of Atlanta.
Yeah. Probably got by on stabbing marks, right? To get over.
Now, to clarify, there are some pretty scary parts of Atlanta. I lived there for a year. But, come on, probably Buckhead is where you grew up. Anyhow, we're talking about Cody. Cody sucks.
Yes. So
Adam Cole then appears.
By the way, I like a second crowd is now chanting "Fuck you, Yuta." Right? Let's make this.
Oh yeah.
Let's make this.
Fuck you, Yuta.
Whoever gets Dynamite next, the granddaddy of them all, whatever town it is next, I better get a "Fuck you, Yuta." Oh yeah, it's Hammerstein. Oh,
come on,
Hammerstein.
I'll fly out there if it needs to happen.
Yeah, if somebody's on site, if you do not start some sort of "Fuck you, Yuta" or "Yuta sucks" chant, you are failing the entire universe here. You're failing us all.
Yep, indeed. But the second half of this promo, Adam Cole says, "Hey, I'm gonna beat you up," and he does. Right? I mean, come on.
Well, and that I kind of like the like, oh yeah, here's the question: am I kicking your ass yet? Right? But just hit them then. Don't make the MJF be like, what the hell is that? Stupid. Turn around and wait. Like, just get right into it. Right? Like, get right into it.
I've never understood the like wait till they turn around. No.
Yeah. Just
If
beat
I'm
his
sneak
ass.
attacking you, I'm sneaking up on
Yeah,
you. I'm not
yeah.
gonna like.
You're still gonna
now
see
you
me. I'm not
me?
knocking you out with one blow, right? Like I'm gonna hit you in
Yeah.
the back when you are laying around looking up. Then you're gonna see me and be like, "Gotcha, bitch," and choke you out.
Yeah.
Kansas City cunt punt.
What?
Little how's your father?
Come on with it. Then we hear from Jamie Hayter, and she has some harsh words for Julia Hart. And essentially, we say, "Fight for the fallen." I'm gonna give you the old
She
right
does
here.
the biceps like an
Wah!
80s movie villain.
I like that. That's fun. And then, Tim, we finally got on AEW Dynamite some of that good shit we've been seeing online. We get a vignette airing the impending return of right here, like this Kenny fucking Omega. Here's what I'll say. For people that have been listening to us for long enough, they will know pre AEW, and I'm not afraid to admit this, I didn't give a shit about Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be completely transparent. I never had heard of Hangman Adam Page, right?
Yeah.
I thought
Agreed.
Cody
Same.
was interesting because he was trying something new.
Had potential to be a big deal.
Well, that he asked for his release and said, I'm going to try to make a name.
Commendable.
Awesome.
We were like, awesome.
Yep.
And in fact, we said a lot more of you should do this. Right? A lot more of you.
Then he
AJ Styles did it.
Yeah, exactly. Then Cody turned out to be a cornball. But with all that being said,
I feel like Cody mimics
say,
a lot, but that's
that's
armchair psychiatry. But
yeah, I got so excited. So I have been a full-fledged 100% all in on Kenny Omega. And I'll tell you when it started. It started with the heel turn joining Don Callis. When he started doing the 69 me Don and the fucking snapping
the paintings
and the shit. All that. Fuck yes.
Yes. More of that than I'm in.
Yeah.
Yes. That was A+ Kenny for me. That's when I was most invested in Kenny, I'll say.
Well, but even after that, then when he was like, so you all know I'm the shit. And we're like, well, yeah, no, yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah.
All
the
that to say,
stuff when he was really leaning in with the girls and all the intros and Justin Roberts going through the long verbose. But
and he
North Carolina. Yeah.
He still did that when it was with Osprey. Remember when he's like, he had more PWI higher rankings than Osprey, all that stuff. But I will say this, all that to say, when I saw this, it felt like everyone keeps on saying, restore the feeling, or when can we get back to things that we don't get paid for, like ratings and all this other bullshit. I will say it was like, yep, when he fucking comes back and gives us the hat like this, boy, are we cooking with grease. That is what I'm talking about. He's what I'm missing.
Yeah, I will say he's awesome. I know, like, he lights the fans on fire. He's another one of those where, to me, he is not like, oh, he's one of my top 5, right? But I will say, like, he's definitely an A+ character. He's going to add to the show in every way imaginable. Doesn't have much gaps in the game, if any, right? So, and instantly can be infused into almost any storyline just based on his gravitas, if you will, right? So, great stuff. Great stuff. And everybody's heard the name. So, another one of those when people are, say, watching the college football playoffs and they're like, oh, this wrestling's on. Is that Chris Jericho? And they're like, oh, the Kenny Omega. I've heard that name, but I've never really seen him, right? Like, those kind of things help. They help a lot.
Yeah. He is one of the things that I continue to say about you want to be something different than WWE. Kenny Omega presentation, heel or babyface, is not like
wildly different
WWE. Now, they're starting to kind of steal some of it, Seth Rollins, but it's still Kenny Omega that they're stealing from. You get what I'm saying? And so, yeah, when he returns, I can't fucking wait. Now, I looked it up because I was like, so he's going to be wrestling. Who is he going to wrestle? Did you see who he's fucking wrestling? Conor McGregor's fucking forgotten about bastard son, Gabriel Kidd or something. This fucking guy just talks shit like he fucking owns the place. He does it in the most Conor McGregor cadence. He has the shave head like Conor McGregor does sometime. I don't know if that's the motherfucker we need to be mimicking right now after he just read the news. I won't say what happened. It was bad.
Allegedly.
But like,
I don't even think it's allegedly, right? Yeah, it's not even, I think he's admitted to it. Yeah.
When a girl jumps off of a fucking boat to get away from you, you probably did something wrong.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he's wrestling this Kenny Omega. I'm excited for this Wrestle Dynasty thing because I think AEW in another country is fun, right? That's a fascinating thing. And it's a different than just the traditional Wrestle Kingdom thing that we've been, or not Wrestle Kingdom thing, but the show that we do. But Kenny Omega, can't wait. I can't wait. I might cry, as I said on Threads. I might cry when he comes back because it's like, I wasn't in on him, but now I'm 1,000,000% in on him. He is what you can get behind. Like, obviously, he's not the star that CM Punk is or was, but he is the guy that we could say, this is it, right? Like when CM Punk wasn't showing up in AEW, we were like, motherfuckers, fuck that Roman Reigns. We got this.
He also has, when you put everything together that is the entire package of the character and thing of Kenny Omega, it is just so unique, right? Like there is no other, you can't say anything is very similar at all, right? Like there's not much that like, oh, this is WWE's version of fill in the blank, right? Like he is so, and even AEW doesn't have like, oh, here's a mini Kenny Omega. Like it's just he's his own unique guy all around, and it's really interesting. Yeah.
And he saved a dog when a baby wanted to throw a tantrum and try to fight brothers.
Lisa's hot take, oh, he's better than CM Punk. Yeah, we agree with that. What Tom's saying is like recognizable media star.
Yeah, right? the guy that you can throw in front of Shaq, for example, or Charles Barkley.
Conan O'Brien is going to bring on CM Punk quicker than he's going to bring on Kenny Omega, right?
I'm so glad you said that, because when I was talking about the synergy thing, not Warner Brothers specific, but he used to be on Warner Brothers. You know who did an episode of Conan Needs a Friend? Danhausen. It was like 4 years ago. And Danhausen bases his character off of Conan O'Brien. That's the whole genesis of Danhausen is, I'm trying to be like Conan O'Brien.
I can see sort of the speech pattern, kind of like awkward, like
it's all Conan O'Brien
to like, oh, I'm a little shy, but I've got to be, that is very Conan O'Brien-esque. Yeah.
Now he did it as himself, not as Danhausen. He showed up, no makeup, all the stuff.
Right.
But
that makes sense that like if he patterned his sort of like speaking style and comedy, you know what I mean, character bit off of Conan O'Brien, a lot of that fits. That checks. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Kind of miss Danhausen a little bit, but maybe don't. What do we get next? Oh, we get the patriarchy.
The salad chest guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what all the salad chest tattoos are about.
He was kind of a dick to us in St. Louis, wasn't he?
He was kind of a dick to us in St. Louis. But I mean, I get if it's a practice response and it was just, but I think he tried to say it nicely.
Yeah, he did. And Dan the Dad co-signs for him, and we love Dan the Dad. So
yeah, and I felt like Dan the Dad was kind of like, oh shit, that's awkward, right? And he kind of looked at us and we were like, oh yeah, cool. And he was just like, thank you. You know what I mean? I think he was like, awesome, right? Like, let's just get out of here. Yeah, let's be weird.
We need to hear from Dan again. He needs to be on AEW one more time.
Dan the Dad.
Another guy.
Dan the Dad is so great. Imagine Christian like being like, the fuck? Dan the what? You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, hey. Hey, what's up, young fella? Right? I'd be like, young fella. God. He's so great.
Do it on Father's Day. Oh. Are you fucking serious? You could do it on Collision, then do a specialty match where you release it on the Sunday of Father's Day.
Yes.
That would be the
Everybody
best.
Right now, look up Dan the Dad. Highlights of Dan the Dad. We believe in you, Dad.
He's our favorite.
Let's go, Dad.
So we get the patriarchy, AEW's favorite dad.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Cage.
There's Dan the Dad, and then there's our father, you know.
Thank you for the correction. It's Christian Cage, Nick Wayne with Mother Wayne and Kip Sabian taking on the wrestler Shibata and Hook.
The other three people in this match are not wrestlers. Well, the wrestler is Katsuyori Shibata.
You know what? Because you've said that before. You know what it reminds me of is when Chris Candido was no gimmicks needed.
Yes.
Chris Candido. It's that. It's the.
So he's just a wrestler, Katsuyori Shibata.
Yeah, you want to fucking. Oh, you need a teeth. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't. I win.
That
matches.
should almost be Orange Cassidy. I'm the wrestler.
Well, he doesn't
Orange
have a catchphrase,
Cassidy, and I do not have a catchphrase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this was a tag team match. The only thing I thought was interesting is that Christian Cage was in it, because if we're getting the payoff of Hook versus Christian Cage, I think next week at Hammerstein, then I would have put Kip Sabian in this and then had Christian Cage be the one of like, you want to fight me? Like, yeah. And then Kip Sabian hits him in the back and, things like that.
How do we not, you said this on Threads, how do we not have sleeveless turtlenecks for sale at the merch stand?
I mean, come
Even
on.
if they're not sleeveless, how do we not have turtlenecks that, like, guys, turtlenecks.
Shop AEW. Come on, guys.
If you hire us for nothing else but merchandise advice, you would make your money back at $250,000 a year each.
I will quit my job, which fuck, I might do it tomorrow. Quit my job and just be your super fan and then help with merchandise. That's all. You don't just feed me. Just let me have whatever food is backstage. That's all.
I don't even need dollars. I just need donuts. Donuts per year.
That's all I need.
Yeah. Write it down. Working donuts per hour, man. Let's go. Donuts and coffee.
Sweat equity. I tell you what, that's
interviews.
what I bring. Yeah. Yeah, I can do it better than Aubrey. No offense, but I probably could. I haven't listened to it. I'm an asshole.
I gotta listen to it. No, I do it better than that.
Hey, I'm a white man. I can definitely do it better than a woman.
It's a podcast. Two white guys are gonna do it better than
two white
anybody
guys
else.
can obviously do it way better than everyone else. Come on.
People need to hear our voices.
Yeah, we're being canceled. That's why the numbers aren't up.
Theo says, "Don't quit, T-Mac. You need the money."
I don't. Fuck it. I don't.
I've said this to people before. I'm like, I don't think humanity is going to realize quick enough. We don't need that. We need food. We need healthcare. We need water. We need housing. That's about all we need. And we need each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we need.
Yeah.
And we could work under that. But, anyway, let's all focus on this money that we pretend exists.
Yep. We make all of this up and it sucks. But what did suck was this tag match.
We made everything up and we decided to make up credit scores. Like, what in the fuck is wrong with us? Why did we do that? Why did we do that? Why didn't we make up, like, vibe scores? Like, what in the fuck is wrong with us? Anyway. All right, back to the wrestling.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I totally
dumb. We're dumb. We're a dumb species. We deserve to die. This is fucking...
We are the worst.
Bears didn't make up a credit score, you know what I mean? The scratching their backs there in the forest.
God,
eating fish.
The worst. The worst. Tag match.
Forgot what we were doing now.
Yeah. So Nick went for Wayne's World. Shibata countered it. But then Mother Wayne, she distracts. Christian says, let me get them eyeballs. And then Shibata goes, motherfucker. And then he hits the kill switch. And then Nick Wayne covers. Ha-ha. Patriarchy wins. Again, nothing wrong with the match.
No.
Christian's always fun to see wrestle. But if the payoff is Hook gets his hands on Christian, well, he did here.
Man, I don't want, it feels like I'm saying something sacrilegious here, but do we need to send Hook away and try a repackaging something else? Because, like, we've tried some of the biggest names in the game at, like, working with a young upstart and getting them over. And I don't think Hook's just getting above any level than he already was. I mean, Chris Jericho, which we can say what Chris Jericho is now, but, like, Christian is one of the greatest in the games now, let alone being one of the best to ever do it. And I just don't think it's really elevated Hook much.
I think the payoff, and this is me just guessing, I don't read whatever Meltzer, whatever Sapser there are. My guess is the payoff is Christian's posse, the patriarchy, is putting it to old Hook. Shibata comes out. They take out Shibata. Shibata rolls out of the ring. They go back to kicking on. Hook,
Mm-hmm.
Taz comes out in the Hammerstein ballroom. What the? That place will hopefully go crazy. They should fucking pay your respect, assholes.
I still don't know that that's going to make me like the next
but it'll
Wednesday
be a
on
moment.
Dynamite. Like, I'm going to be like,
no, but
Hook
at least
again.
it'll be a moment. You know what I mean? It'll be something that we could say at the end of the year. Here's our favorite moments of the year.
We'll
Darby jumps off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Darby jumping off that ladder to almost hit one of Nick Jackson, I think it was, and goes through the glass.
About Hook's success or failures right now.
Well, again, if I had the pin, which got one right here.
Christian, you know what I mean? Like, I know he's being
well,
but like, I kind of like the guy.
Well, I think you have the moment, but you have the moment at Hammerstein Ballroom. But if you do want to get crazy and have some fun, like what you're kind of alluding to, Christian Cage picks Hook over Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Get the fuck out of here.
And now Hook so Taz does come out. He's ready to be like, I'm here to help Hook. And Hook's like, you think that? And then they beat everybody up. And it's Christian being like, I knew you had it in you. My son. I always knew. I was waiting for this.
And then the payoff.
Yeah, now I might start caring more. I'm going to be like, all right, Hook, let's get evil.
Man, God bless it. This would be perfect world for me. Side quest. We'll get back on track. Perfect world scenario is Hammerstein Ballroom. Taz comes out, chases off the patriarchy. Taz, Hook, hand in hand. Yay. There we go. Wednesday on Dynamite. Hook comes out. Taz, I want to bring you out here. You're my dad. I love you. Give you a hug. Psych. Whop. Fucking brings Taz to the ground. They all start to beat up on Taz, right? Kicking him. Christian goes out, grabs a steel chair because he's going to like take one out on Taz. Whop, hits Kip Sabian. Whop, hits Nick Wayne. Mother Wayne goes, pushes her down to the ground. It's Christian Cage and Hook. Running with that. Finally, Hook thinks I'm the greatest thing in the world from my learning under Christian Cage, not learning tree, but from my learning from Christian Cage, I'm obviously the greatest wrestler alive. No one can beat me. And then Luchasaurus shows up. I'm a dinosaur. And then says, I'm the best.
Yeah, he can be like, kill switch your back. And he can be like shaking his head. And he'd be like, what? What do you mean? I'm a dinosaur. God damn it. I'm a dinosaur. I was going to ask Santa, but it just felt weird because I don't know. You know what I mean? Santa can't change health, right?
And that's what I said. Perfect world scenario. If I could do, that's what I'd do. All right. So that's how we end that match. Then Christian talks. Then we get Bandito, another vignette of the impending
this was a lot quicker,
Bandito.
Right? It was just like, hey, remember we talked about Bandito? Still happening, right? That's kind of how that one felt.
Yeah, but I don't want
the other ones were like a mini production. This was just like,
well, and again, Bandito. I don't want to go too crazy on it, but we spent so much time on Chris Jericho in New York.
I would much rather have had another minute-long segment of Bandito wandering around some town.
Yeah.
Without saying anything. That's how bad Chris Jericho's words are. It's
just, and he does this fucking, it's not a culture vulture, but it's like a hype hijack where now he goes to GCW.
And like, I get that's what he's trying to do, but like, it comes across as like you are actually doing that. So it's like, it's having the opposite effect of like, oh, that's not good heel work. That's just like a bad personality trait.
Yeah, you're just pushing your influence to do things that you think will make yourself cool.
You know why we feel that is because when Jericho's trying to be likable, he does that too. So we know that like he's really like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he does that. If he were to show up here for the next Kansas City Chiefs game and be in the crowd, he would be all like, I love that Mahomes guy. Like, yeah, I've been watching you. Like he's just fucking like, blah. Yeah. Right? Like he's a
fraudulent.
Oh, me too. Right? Yeah. Like, yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah. In fact, I'm a better fan than you of this. Like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. You guys don't realize that my dad actually knows the Hunts from back when he was a hockey player. We actually tried to bring a hockey team to Kansas City. God, how do I know that like that's something he would actually fucking say?
Probably exactly that. Yeah. Probably had that conversation. Remember that happened like at the hotel here? Was it the president where they didn't have his room right and he was like, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" Like he gave him the fucking "Do you know who I am" thing, and the people were like, "No, we don't give a shit."
No, we don't care.
They're like, "You think you're the biggest star to come here?" Like,
you ain't
close.
All right. Then Mariah May, she's backstage and she says, "Thunder Rosa, you fucking weirdo. Tijuana street fight. I'll beat you up and bring your father." That's what I thought was interesting. Bring your father. Because she says, "I'd love to end 2 generations in one night."
Yeah, well, because I think Thunder Rosa said something about bringing her, or like did bring her father or something, right? So she's like, "Yeah, do that shit because I want him to see." You know, she's like, "Do that," because then she was like, "But I'm not bringing my father. I don't want him to see this," right? Like, which is great. Now, what I would have said is switch up a little bit, be like, "I'm not bringing my father because I don't want him to see what I'm going to do to you, but I want you to bring your father because I want him to see what I'm going to do to you," right? Like, just twist the line a little. We would have got there. But this was good stuff. The point was there, right? Of like, oh yeah, great call. Let your dad watch you die.
That would be fantastic. All right. Then Tony Schiavone does an in-ring interview with Ricochet, who all of a sudden now does bird calls like he's Birdman in 2003. And
Ricochet is playing a dork here? What's going on?
Oh, well, I don't know if he's playing that hard.
You're right. Yeah. They say the best gimmicks are yourself, which is what Swerve even alluded to. But yeah, I loved all of this. I mean, they're leaning into this like, you're a nerd. Nobody likes you.
Well, so he comes out and he says, "Hey, I didn't change my demeanor, but did you see what I did to Brody King last week?" Then the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and I tell you what, the crowd loved to chant, "We hurt people. We hurt people." You know? And Ricochet's like, "Hey, what's up? Isn't this cool? We're all here."
Yeah, hey guys, hey friends, hey pals.
I could face.
Hey, fellow kids.
Well, he's like, "Hey, I could face Shelton Benjamin. Keep it all in house." MVP's like, "You got that business card on you?"
Yeah, because he's like, "You saw what I did?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw that. Yeah, we saw that."
Yeah, and then he goes, "You got that business card?" He goes, "Yeah, we're here." And then Bobby Lashley, I don't know if he was supposed to grab his jaw.
He grabbed his double chin and was like, "Let's go." Man. If you could grab somebody by the gullet, that's what he grabbed him by, I feel like, right here, right?
And take this from someone who Bobby Lashley pinned up against a wall with his fist. That's a scary fucking spot to be in, brother.
They talked about it. He's a wide individual. What were they saying? They were like, "Can you imagine coming down a hallway and trying to get by with Bobby Lashley on the other way?" And he's like, "No, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you just can't do that."
Yeah, imagine he cuts you off in the Argosy Casino and you're like, "What the fuck?" Anyhow, I don't want to bring up those memories. What was I saying? Oh, and then FP's like, "We rescind the offer. We don't like any kiss ass."
Yeah. Just ripped it up and was like, "Your kiss ass, nobody likes that," or something. Yeah. And then even they let him go. Ricochet's like, "All right, I'll just talk to you later about it. I'll get with you later. Hey, you know, like, what is this? I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's where, again,
I just don't know how Ricochet, like, what is the storyline out of this? Because what, like, you run the risk of like, now we're all just like, what a nerd. Right. And like, you got to have something planned for that. Right. Or else he just becomes a nerd.
I think they got something. They rarely do the hollow storyline. You know what I mean?
So or just shit on somebody and we forget to clean it up. Right. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But here's where, again, guys, I did event production. I know what fans like to see and hear. We have Shelton Benjamin face the Beast Mortos next. But we have this like lull where Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP are like, "Yo,
get out there and hurt him. Yeah, give me 5.
And then
down low, too slow kind of shit.
Yeah, like we're just kind of walking around. And it's like, this is paid TV time. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, that's where we need,
Yeah, that's where WWE does that better, right? Like as soon as like the line's hitting him, he's like, "All right, I'll talk to you later." Music hits. They're
Yeah.
giving him the dap on the way out while the lights are flickering and everybody's cheering fucking, Beast Mortos.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the Beast Mortos side note. I think
Merry
it needs
Christmas
to
and a Happy New Roar.
Yeah. Not what's the fucking guy in WWE? I forget his name. The
Braun.
power lifter.
Yeah.
Not Braun, but like a roar, something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you play that and then the Beast Mortos comes out. MVP joined commentary for this match. I thought that was a mistake. I like MVP. MVP can talk really well. But when you're trying to talk up, these are the best wrestlers in AEW. You don't need MVP to be like, watch this guy get thrown.
I think part of the Continental Classic is supposed to be your people aren't ringside, so they're not a distraction. They can't get involved. And they'll even get fired, suspended, whatever, if that's the case, and you're out. Mm-hmm. You can't be a commentary. That's ringside and a distraction. Like that.
Don Callis, Don Callis needs to stop on that too. I agree.
Yeah, like that's supposed to be the point of this.
And I said this, and people were like, I actually like it. And if you do, great. Pro wrestling's big enough for all of us to like your own certain thing, but I disagree with you on this one. Matt Menard that just gets to call Danny Garcia's matches.
Yeah. The caveat that some people were arguing with you about was they were like, well, Matt Menard just doesn't only call Daniel Garcia matches. I'm like, that's true. But on this show, Dynamite, yes, he does. Yes, he also calls matches on like Collision and Rampage. But like when Dynamite shows up, he's not calling any match. Daniel Garcia match comes out. He suddenly takes somebody's place even sometimes and is just like calling the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
And again, he doesn't fill in for anybody else. It's not like Nigel McGuinness needed a piss break, so this match, it's Matt Menard, and this time that happens to be Daniel Garcia. This time it's Beast Mortos, right? But no, it's always
Daniel. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. That wouldn't happen. Like, it's one thing to have a manager ringside, right? If he was his manager, he's always there, or a mentor, right? You have an accompanist, right, to ringside. But never like your manager is now the guest commentator every time you fight, like in the real, like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Don King wasn't commentating Mike Tyson matches and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's just weird because of how long we've been doing it. And so I don't
that old guy reference I was throwing out there.
I like it though. Yeah. I like it. It would be like a more up to date would be like Jake Paul calling Amanda Serrano
or
matches.
Logan Paul calling Jake Paul like boxing
matches,
right? Like, like why would he do that? Like why would he just come out? The rest of the card is like commentated by other folks. Like I get we have JR come out for the big things, but again, it's not person specific.
Yeah, it's anything. It's the main event. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this too much because it hurts my heart, but Shelton Benjamin wins. Afterwards,
Wrestling with Nerd Divergence Pod said they also took so much heat for that Daddy Magic take. They were fighting for you. And
I just don't get it. Because again, there's been no allusion to a payoff. There'd be something I would be okay with if it was Matt Menard's like, Daniel Garcia, stop doing these fucking submissions. Like, stop doing these submissions. You know you're not a submission. Hurt these people. Now again, that's the hurt
Garcia
people. But you know,
wait a minute. I thought I had. Where's my? Wait a minute. What do you mean I'm broke? Right? Like I don't. Then Daddy Magic's pulling up in his Porsche, and he's like,
"Hey,
yeah."
Speaking of Daniel Garcia, though, after Shelton Benjamin beats Beast Mortos,
this was good.
They start beating him up, which is fucking sacrilege. You cunts. I like to call them. Yeah, it is. I love, by the way, side note, and I know I cuss a lot and call out people names, and that's fine. If you don't like it,
fuck that shit. Kiss my ass, bitch.
But I love to call men cunts. It's one of my favorite things. It makes me happy because they're like, oh, what? Anyhow.
Yeah.
So these cunts beat up on Beast Mortos, and Daniel Garcia walks out and he's like, hey, looking forward to Saturday. And I know I'm not the only one that wants to kick your ass, but I also know I'm the only one here that wants to kick your ass, so I'm outnumbered. And then, dude, Mark Briscoe, we need to turn this part of his character up where it's like, well, no, I'll fight with you.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, just because I want to fight.
Anybody that's outnumbered, you can expect Mark Briscoe's going to hit the fucking floor.
Yeah.
He's like, somebody's outnumbered? Like, heels and babies. He just randomly doesn't matter. Somebody's outnumbered. He's like, no, you will not. We fight fair around here.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this because the last UFC, there's a guy named Nate Landwehr, and he's not particularly great, but he's a Mark Briscoe type, right? Where he might win 5 or 6 fights, but he's not necessarily going to be the heavyweight champion or, in his division, the welterweight champion of the world, right? But Nate Landwehr has a perfect phrase that Mark Briscoe needs to steal, and it's kick my ass and see what happens. And I just love that's Mark Briscoe. Kick my ass and see what happens.
Kick my ass and see what happens. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, what are you gonna kick my ass about it? Let's go. Yeah.
Kick my ass because it alludes to, you're gonna get some, but I'm probably gonna get you at the end.
I think I said to somebody one time when they threatened, I was like, all right, if you want to be wrong and commit assault, let's go. Let's like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. It's fucking weird, but
it's fun. Yeah. But so Mark Briscoe goes out there. We get a
I even like Daniel Garcia though, where he's like, I also know that if I come down there, it's 3-1, I'm going to get my ass kicked. That's dumb. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, so you would be dumb to do that. And he's like, yeah, but I also know DC wants to see a fight. So guess I got to get my ass kicked. Let's do this. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like that. So then we go backstage. Renee Paquette is talking to Ricochet. And this is where
still nerding out. He's like, I don't know. They gave me the card. I thought they.
It's the Birdman call. What?
Fucking Mama 2 times said it was Jada Kiss laugh.
Oh, Jada Kiss, but also Birdman. Yeah. Yes, but Jada Kiss. Yes, it is more it's Jada that. Kiss.
Yeah, but it's still, he's doing it bad. But again, he's trying to lean into being a nerd, I guess.
Yeah, Jada
or
Kiss.
A wannabe, right? He wants to be the cool kid and isn't. Is that the gimmick we're doing here?
I don't know.
Or it's not a gimmick, as Swerve seemed to indicate. Or he was like,
well,
look at this same old dork.
Yeah, and he calls him Trevor.
Yes.
Calls him
I like that. He was like, oh, so we got Wikipedia now.
Yeah. That was a good call.
Yeah.
Oh, we can say Wikipedia.
Like, big fucking scoop.
Good, yeah. That was a good little fuck you back kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Man, Jadakiss. If anyone needs a fun fucking nostalgia ride, watch the Jadakiss versus Cameron or Dipset versus. And when Jadakiss plays New York and Fat Joe is in the fucking audience, he's like, that's I'm on that song too. And it's so fucking good. It is so, oh my God. And he's like, these motherfuckers are from New York. They live in Miami. Here and then oh, that's a shit. Anyhow,
fucking Mama 2 times rightfully points out that Swerve is super over. Boy, when he came on the screen, that crowd lost their shit.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because what I was gonna say is Ricochet talks his shit, like he says, and he goes, I'm stepping in the ring with Will Ospreay. I came here to shut him up, to let everyone know why I'm the fucking
Ospreay
best.
Weird, right? He says Will Ospreay or something every time. Like he says it a distinct way that's different. Slightly.
I haven't paid attention to it, but I might try to do that next time.
I think he says Will Ospreay every time. Yeah.
I'm not okay. All right, I'm gonna try to pay attention to that. So Swerve Strickland though walks up, and this is what I was gonna say. I don't know what the fuck he said except for Trevor, because the whole crowd just starts doing who's house, Swerve's house, who's house.
Nano was great here.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Yes.
Swerve will find the camera, right? It don't matter where you tell him to stand, he's gonna find the camera. Yeah,
and so what do we make of this? So Swerve says, I know the real Trevor. Ricochet says, I know the real Swerve. And
all of this seems to be painting as something for a self-realization or self-actualization for Trevor here, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's interesting. It is very interesting, because one thing that Ricochet ends with the Jadakiss, that is more appropriate, says is, you know what's going to eat you up? You lost the Continental Classic last year, and I'm going to win it. And then and then fucking goes off.
Oh, we got somebody in the chat here. Derek83, Erica Lee, which was referenced earlier when somebody said they want them in AEW, was with the Outrunners over the summer. Honk.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was her name.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was her. She's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
now that's tracking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Welcome
Okay,
to
now
the chat. Derek,
yeah, what's up?
What
What?
it says? If I'm saying it
Sure.
wrong, fucking, I'm an asshole. You'll learn that. You'll see.
You'll learn it quick. Now let's talk about one of the best
Tom's
things.
like, I've suffered so long.
10 years.
And Vert Vixen was on AEW Dark a few times. She's currently at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy camp. Oh, does she got a neck tattoo?
Yeah, right here.
Is that is that like when you graduate? You get branding.
Turn your head.
You have been marked. It's the
Turn
seal
your
of
head.
approval.
Didn't I graduate? Yeah, it's a seal of approval. Okay.
It's the stamp of the Rhodes Academy. He just.
All right, but let's talk about.
Listen, we'll comp your training if you get the tattoo. It's all we're saying. Comp the training, get the tattoo. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's Dustin's school, which makes okay. There we go. So she'll have half of her face painted. Dustin's awesome. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. Goldust is
That's
amazing.
good information, though. I like this. Thanks, Dan.
I like it. Yeah, that was great. Goldust should be in the Hall of Fame. He started the Attitude Era. I won't have anyone tell me different.
Old and has 8 abs.
He's the best. His gimmick's really bad though. One last match can't last for 4 years or 5.
One last ride has been going on for 2.5 years.
Don't like that. Let's talk about my favorite thing of the night. RJ City sits down with Tony Storm, and I sent you there was a behind the scenes of Tony Storm.
So great.
Okay.
But and even RJ City and the other person who's acting as like the cameraman were selling this well too. Like, this lady is fucking nuts.
So what do you think? Right. So I'll quickly go past kind of what's said. RJ City goes, what does Mercedes Moné? Oh, legend.
Yeah.
What does Mariah May mean? Well, the best.
Best.
What does timeless Tony Storm? Oh, it's
what
not
if I
timeless.
said 3 times AW champ? She's like, well, it's too early to be saying that.
Yeah, right. So what's going on here? Gun to your head, which I would never do, probably. What do you think is the angle here?
I think Tony Storm ultimately overarching since the going crazy from leaving Soraya's group has been she's out of her mind. She doesn't know who she is, what she is, where she is, what she is. So, like, I don't think we're staying in Tony Storm rocker too long, right? I think something's going to, you know what I mean, change and stick for a while. I think this is a transition, but I think it's just more establishing of the, like, who are we talking to right now, right? Like, who's in the room with us, Tony?
I think people think that. And I think you're right for thinking that because a lot of people think that.
That's how they're presenting it, at least.
Right.
Right.
I think Tony Storm says, I'm not doing a Matt Hardy fucking broken thing. Right.
Right.
I think what we're getting is timeless Tony Storm is playing Tony Storm. We're going to get the payoff of timeless Tony Storm finally gets her hands on Mariah May. This was my greatest performance of all time. I'm timeless Tony Storm. Zoom in on the fucking face right here. Right. Like I think that's what we're doing.
Fucking Mama 2 times says Tony's going to do what Tom said last week. A shoe will be involved that gets her back to her senses. But yeah, that would be different than what you're saying here. But yeah.
Well, I think the shoe will be the thing, right? I think here's how I envisioned it. And I could be completely wrong. And if so, we'll never remember this. But if this is exactly right, we're going to clip this and play it forever. I think when it happens, we're going to get Mariah May and Tony Storm. Because let's hypothetically say Tony Storm wins enough matches to become the number 1 contender.
Yeah.
The entire time, Tony time.
Tony time.
So Mariah May's like, well, this bitch is fucking dumb,
Out
right?
of her goddamn mind again.
Yeah. So at X pay-per-view, right? Dynasty, whatever we're calling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get we've agreed to no physicality, Renee Paquette, right? And they're going to have their, well, I wish you the best. I'm going to eat your lunch and fucking steal your money, right? All the kind of stuff. Tony's going to be like, well, Mariah, good luck. And Mariah's going to be like, bitch, right? Tony's going to walk off camera. Then Renee's going to be like, so this Sunday or this Saturday at X pay-per-view, and then you're going to see a fucking shoe. Yeah. And Mariah's going to go boom like that. And Renee's going to be the first one that grins, and she's going to be like, oh, I know it's back. I know what's back. And so, then Sunday or whatever the pay-per-view.
They're doing the talk, right? And they're doing the handshake, and she's like, and then remember, right? Like, we're going to go out there and we're going to rock it at Dynasty, right? Like whatever her phrase is, right? As Tony time. And they're shaking hands. And then she's like, oh, and also don't forget to watch for the shoe, right?
Oh,
the voice changes, whap, and fucking shoe, and then black and white hits, and she's like, fucking timeless Tony Storm, and she was like, give me my Oscar, right?
Yes, because that's the thing, is you throw the shoe to where then we're all going, oh, fuck.
Black and white. Once the shoe hits, it's kind of fucking...
But that's what I'm saying. Then we go, oh, fuck. At the pay-per-view, we're seeing it, and then that's when Mariah May comes out first, and then Tony comes out, and then again, it's black and white. We hear the fucking big string quartet or whatever. Yeah. But I think the shoe is what's going to signal I was playing you the entire time. It's my greatest role. I am timeless Tony Storm. That's what I think is going to happen. We shall see. Man, the match of the night was up next. The Continental Classic Gold League match. Will Ospreay, Darby Allin. And for a match that I was like, what will this look like? Wow. Darby said, oh, you don't think I can do the flips and fun like with everyone else? Check this out. And he does Hurricane Rana,
triple spinning ball sack, plancha drive, something like that.
And he beats Will Ospreay.
Yep.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh, Will Ospreay stumbling?
No, I just think that this is the tournament because Mark Briscoe beat Kyle Fletcher.
Yep.
Right?
You can get got.
So it's just, and I love that about the tournament.
Reason that it's an equalizer, right? Because remember, Kyle Fletcher gets some wins because he has the Kyle or the Don Callis family nearby, right? It is a distraction.
Right.
So as good as he is, it helps him sometimes. And when he can't have it help him, sometimes he's going to lose.
Yeah, that makes sense for Kyle Fletcher. I think it's to show everyone in this thing can beat anyone at any time. I wish it was a little bit more applied to throughout the year.
Yes.
You do Darby versus Ospreay in March. Ospreay,
kick to the back of the head will knock you out for 3 seconds. Like, you should be able to get got in wrestling, no matter who you are. Puncher's chance should matter.
Right. And so I thought it was very interesting. But again, I want more of this throughout the year.
I asked this question a while back, and I'm not saying we have to do this, but like, is there a way where each of these years, somehow the Blue League and the Gold League are somehow slightly different? Could there be slightly different rules or a different rhyme or reason to make them unique somehow? I don't have any idea of what that could be that isn't too crazy, right? You don't want it to be too off-putting, but...
Well, because then the other person would be like, well, if I could do hardcore matches, then I would have made it to the finale. This year I'm in the Blue League, and that means X, right? That could be, right? I don't know what that could be, though, but I'm open to ideas. People, that's my name. Yeah. But yeah, I think one of two things either needs to be said about AEW. Either anyone could win at any time, so don't fucking tell me that the booking of X wrestler is getting buried. Or
Darby Allin should be powerhouse, right? Like, it can happen.
Or that the champions are so good that when they go in there with, if Powerhouse Hobbs takes on Action Andretti, that match shouldn't last more than 5 seconds. Or Leo Rush, right? Leo Rush is probably a better example. Like, no, that doesn't last. Right. So shut the fuck up. Like, it needs to be balanced one way or the other. Either Kenny Omega beats the fuck out of everyone except for the Ospreys of the world.
I still think
in a minute,
the natural order would be a spectrum. You'd have some where there's those squashes. You'd have some where it's like a blood feud to the end, and then you'd have some that are just kind of draws, right? Like, you don't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nobody's really better than the other. And that
Yeah,
bears out in averages, right?
Yeah, because you can't tell me that the number one contender struggles for 15 minutes with pretty Peter Avalon. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That's what I mean. If everybody struggles with everybody, because like you have to do something unique in
Then
each
draws.
match.
then
Right.
draws.
Draws, I think it should happen more often, right? Yeah. Because now
I
it's,
agree.
we'll tune in next week. We got to run this back. You know what I mean? I'm going to Tony. I'm going to say, run this back. We got to beat you, man.
Or a draw made them lose their number one contendership.
Yeah.
Now they're pissed.
Yeah, that's the thing is like draws, you know, again, like if we were in the kayfabe world, I expect that these guys are fighting for purse money. So a draw is less money than if I beat you, right? So I need to fucking beat this guy. I need the money. I'm poor. MJF tells everybody all the time, I'm poor. And I need to not be.
All right, let's get into our main event. It's a trios match. It's the Death Riders, Moxley, Pac, who else? Oh, and Yuta. Yuta sucks.
Yeah.
Versus Orange Cassidy, Jay White, and Hangman Adam Page. And Hangman's the best. I love that he throws a tantrum. I'm out of here. I'm gone. Just to come back 5 minutes later.
I'm not gone.
I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him.
He's still here. I see him getting beat up. I'm going to beat him up. You're not going to get all the fun.
It's the best. Because, if you're not going to turn on your partner, you would come back.
He's just unstable. He's erratic and unstable, and he's not making sound decisions.
But he did nothing wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong. He's a victim here.
John Moxley wins.
Yeah, which is fine, right? Champ,
that's fine.
Leading the bloody feud of the whole company.
Well, because we get at the end the three of them, Hangman, Jay White, Orange Cassidy, just arguing and pushing each other and all that, and Moxley's like, "I gotcha." Whoop. 1, 2, 3. And then afterwards, the Death Riders then start to surround the three, and then the three of them are like, "Well, we got to work together now." But it was okay. Was anyone really thinking John Moxley had to be ran off? They still had the numbers advantage 4-on-3, and in pro wrestling, numbers always win. So, like, why wouldn't he just stay there and be like, "Well, Claudio can help us out now, so I'm like, kick, Hangman in the face or something." Like,
yeah, I don't know. They don't explain a lot of that. It's like, oh, now they show up, so now I gotta go, and it's like, I don't know, why did you have to go? I thought you were a guy who's ready to fight anywhere, for one, right? Like, and you expect that you're gonna win every fight.
Again, I know that I always say that I can do it better because it's true, but also I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for being correct.
I'm sorry, but I know it can be annoying
for you, but
yeah, trust me, I get it. It's annoying. The Chiefs always win a Super Bowl. I'm always right.
I wish I wasn't always right. I'm right about bad things. I don't want them to be right.
Exactly. But here's where, if the three of them surround Orange, Jay White, and Hangman, and they start to collapse on them, Private Party, Daniel Garcia, the fucking people who are telling me that these people are the threat, comes running out to help because fucking we don't care who's bad or good.
Well,
these are the
who
worst.
would send them running? Beast Mortos.
This motherfucker right here.
Yeah. With both arms. Yeah. Got a nice set of guns there. Nice set of forearms there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
fuck your mama 2 times here in the chat. And I think I agree. This Death Rider storyline is meh. And here's my hot take. I don't think it's been anything more than meh since it started. I think when John Moxley came out and started talking weird, we were like, oh shit. And then it's kind of been like, oh yeah, okay, it's fine. Ever since.
I think it's doing a touch of the bloodline where you give me the beats of the bloodline or you give me the beats of this, fucking great. But we get too much filler because, for example, the Death Riders taking out FTR was fucking cool. And oh shit, you better not fucking think you can walk to your car just like fine, right?
But they're okay to give a video. Say we'll see you in a week.
Yeah, like I need the threat to be real if the threat is real.
I need nobody to have heard from FTR in weeks.
Or for FTR to be like, we can't really talk, so our wives are going to say, we'll see you January 1st.
Statement from our lawyers when they escaped your grasp, right? Like,
yeah.
Now it's on. Now we have signed contracts. We will meet you at whatever face to face where you can't kidnap us, like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we won't be alone. You could still say they won't be alone, but yeah, for them just to be like,
yeah,
they didn't
our
have
surprise
bruises.
buddy.
Yeah, they didn't have any bruises. You know, have a black eye for Christ's sake if they beat you up.
And he asked here in the chat, "What's the bigger picture of the story? Like, I just don't get this thing. What is the purpose? What are they going to do? What's that power?"
So I will say this: I saw on one of the social media websites, not Twitter, because fuck that, but one of them, that Tony Khan said that World's End is going to end one chapter of AEW and then in January start a new. So it could be the payoff of what Moxley's been talking about ends the pay-per-view the first week on Max and TNT, TBS, and all that bullshit is the
They're going to change shit, aren't they? I'm going to have to change all our fucking graphics in our goddamn.
No. They're not changing names.
No, but fucking
no. It started when we started. No. It'll be fine. That's my hope, is that the payoff, just like the Devil storyline was at the end of last year with Adam Cole, which again, if he wasn't hurt, I still think would have been cool. It was just he was hurt, and then we got fucking weird about it. Assuming everyone's healthy, I think we could finally get a payoff that then leads into Dynamite.
MJF is the face, right?
Of what?
Of that storyline. I don't know why we're acting as though Adam Cole is the face here.
I don't get it. Yeah, it just stop. I think.
Why has Adam Cole been waiting for years to get his hands on MJF when the last thing he did was get his hands on MJF?
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention that I just thought of is Adam Cole mentions, hey, and at the pay-per-view, these two guys are going to be there. I think MJF is going to have those two guys join him. Then Adam Cole is going to be the babyface. They all turned on Adam Cole. It could be Kyle O'Reilly.
I told you, nerd.
Yeah. And then it's Roderick Strong and him that, one last ride, like Dustin Rhodes.
Let's unite it again.
Yeah, something like that. But that's what I think, because you can't just say these two are going to be here and then nothing else is said about it. Like that leads to something.
Yeah. True that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we asked Santa for a lot of things. We watched Dynamite. We had a good week. What do you think? You're an elf.
It was a great week. Yeah.
Friends.
I got to go work. I got to go up to North Pole. Get your all fucking Christmas presents ready.
Got to make my toys.
Mm-hmm. You jerks. Mm-hmm. Make them more suitable than this fucking Beast Mortos.
Yeah, make them stronger than that one.
Yeah.
That's that. God damn. It's like the tariffs already hit on that toy. All right, Tom. let's 2025 is going to be a weird year for the All Elite Wrap-Up and America. So we got one last time before we get into that. Next week, join us here for our end of year show. Those are always fun. They're jam-packed with a lot of stuff. We're going to get crazy. We're going to get wild. AllEliteWrapup.com for all the links you need. And we'll be back for the last edition for this year, next week, of the All Elite Wrap-Up.